I have kids. Kids have always been looked upon biblically as a blessing, right? Not always in the culture, the secular society, or the world. Where no oxen are, the crib is clean, but much increase is by the strength of the ox. So I think of this verse as in basically, if you don't have any kids, your home can be really clean and you don't have all the hassles sometimes of parenting or whatever. You don't have to work at it, right? It's not even always hassles. There's so many blessings with kids. We don't always hear in the pro-life movement of the pro-choice movement, how kids are a blessing. And it's so discriminating against kids. We don't do that to any other age, do we? Do we say, oh, my 25-year-old is such a pain. I wish I never had him or her, right? We don't say that about ourselves as parents. We don't say, oh, by the time you're, 40 or whatever, you're a pain and we just want to get rid of you. It's so discriminating in the pro-choice movement that you think you should be able to say, I don't want a parent, so therefore I'm just going to kill my baby. Or kids, cost too much, or they do this, or any of those things that support abortion. Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands, right? So women can do almost anything today, right? We have so many choices. And those choices can actually get in the way of motherhood. Because when you're a mother, the focus is pretty much on raising your children. Although you can work, I worked, you can do stuff. But the main focus is on nurturing your children, growing them up in the Lord, teaching them all kinds of things, right? But it says here that the wise woman buildeth her house. And, I just think that when we want to build our home, the biggest thing we're going to do is we want to think positively about our family and about having children. It's important to have a good attitude toward kids. He that walketh in his uprightness feareth the Lord, but he that is perverse in his ways despises him. We want to also make sure we're saying pretty much what God says, that children are a blessing. Back in the day, a lot of people had big families, and the more they had, the merrier they felt, because the family was a strength, right? You could get a lot of farm work done. You could get a lot done in a million ways by having family, okay? And the mouth of the foolish is a rod of pride, but the lips of the wise shall preserve them. So we really want to be careful what we're thinking about with kids. We want to have kids. It's a one time in your life, a certain amount of years that you can have kids. And then that's it. And later on in life, I know, I've watched a lot of videos where people are like, oh, parents don't want to have to depend on their kids, financially, or really depend on them at all. We live in a day and age where we do think, I've heard this a couple times recently, we do think that we have to, in America, have everything we want. We think we have to have our own house, our own car, our own stuff. And we don't think we should be sharing this stuff, right? Everything's mine. When you have a big family, you learn to share. You learn to help each other in life. And you build community even more with big families, right? Because you have your aunts, your uncles. Big families are really important. And, it may look like, okay, my house is clean. I don't have the messes kids make, but where is your increase, right? By the time you get older, where's the increase if you haven't had kids?